So, all right.
So
So if I mess up, just keep going. Because we're.
interview.
Oh.
It's not an interview, so it's just us talking. So like, for instance, like I was just saying, you just did your first piece of content where you finna start telling your story. Like, how do you feel about sharing your story? You know what I'm saying? How much of your story are you willing to tell? Like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta act like the camera ain't here, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like it don't. It's not an interview. Like,
Yeah.
so shooting this content is you not under any pressure to have the proper answer or we just talking. And so in just talking about barbering, you'll drop a gem, you'll say something,
Yeah. Well, I wanted to start creating content because I've always known I wanted to be a barber, right? My mom was a cosmetologist for 37 years. You know, I was born in her, I was born when she was graduating school.
right.
So I just always knew it was my calling, but it just didn't snap in my head until one day I got out of prison a couple years ago. And I was like, what am I going to do? So I was like, why just go to school, extra hustle, not knowing the longevity of it, and it was going to become my career.
Right.
So
you got into barbering just because you was like, okay, well, I need to make some money. I'm just getting out.
Yeah, well, I just got out, right?
Okay.
I was supposed to get this other job, but they suspended my license for the case I caught.
Okay.
So I had another year before I got him back. So I was like, I'll go to barber school for a year
Right.
until that job comes available
But you already
again.
knew how to cut hair.
Yeah, I knew how to cut hair. I started cutting hair in prison
Okay.
and got really good at it.
Okay.
So I was like, I'll just go to barber school for a year while that job becomes available.
Right.
And I started going to school. Well, I found out it was my passion.
Right.
And I loved it.
Right.
So
then after that, you was like, okay, I love it. I'm not going to do the other job thing.
yeah, that's totally out the window. Totally out the window. I focused on it. I learned everything I could learn.
Right.
As far as the book work,
Right.
because I knew how to cut. So that's where shops came into play.
Right.
I went to a couple shops, and really, my passion was too strong for those shops.
So the first shop you went to, how did you find the shop? What made you pick that shop?
A guy in school, he was going there.
Okay.
He was working there, and I was intimidated to come anywhere else
Okay.
or
So
to
you
come
feel
here.
like that shop. So you feel like that shop was a better starting point.
Better starting point.
Okay.
Yes.
What made that a better starting point than anywhere else?
Well, there wasn't that many barbers there, and I just felt more comfortable because I've never worked in a shop before. But I outgrew that pretty fast.
Okay.
I outgrew that pretty fast because my passion was too strong.
Okay.
And not to say anything about any other shop, but it's just
I was edit that out. Where did you start it anyway?
True Skills.
Okay.
My passion was too strong for that shop, So
So what do you mean by that? You say your passion was too strong for that shop. What were the signs of that? Like, what made you feel like, oh man, this ain't it?
because I was working there on Sundays, and I would be the first one there and the last one to leave.
Okay.
And of course, I was going to school still,
Right.
but I was working there on Sundays, and I would go to Altus. I would go to school Monday through Friday,
Yeah.
and then I would go to Altus Saturday to cut hair.
Right.
When I got done there, I would stay the night there, and then I would shoot to Lawton or to the shop.
And where you living at?
I'm living in Lawton,
Okay.
but all my clientele base was in Altus because I'm from Altus.
Right.
So I would stay the night in Altus, then I would come to Lawton. But one day I came to Lawton and to the shop, and he's like, "Oh, there's another guy here. He's finna start working here." At the time, he had his license, and I'm still going to school.
Right. Okay.
So he just kind of kicks me to the side, So I was like, "Yeah, I have to find another shop."
Oh, he told you like you're fired because
No, he told me I couldn't come in that day because he found a guy. Yeah, he found a guy with the license, but he knew my whole deal though. So He knew I was still in school.
Damn.
So, well, I have a mutual client of yours.
Okay.
And I was in Altus. You were at a show or something. I'm cutting his hair. At the time, I had seen your videos, and I was intimidated. I was intimidated to come here. Because I thought you had a whole production, like people filming you, people editing, not knowing you did all this by yourself. Yeah.
Right.
Well, anyways, I'm cutting his hair, and he had mentioned me to you,
Okay.
saying, "Hey, my buddy cuts in Altus or whatever," and
Right.
so you had told him to come holler at you.
Right.
So that was my first step of coming here to the shop.
Okay.
That's when
That's
I
who,
initially,
Jamal? That's Jamal?
yeah, Jamal.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when I initially came here.
Okay.
And then as soon as I stepped in, I was like, oh yeah, this is where I'm gonna be. Yeah.
Yeah, this is it.
I'm not accepting no for an answer from
Right,
you.
right. Okay. Damn. I never knew that part. This is what makes this stuff so easier. So this is what, for me, why I really wanted to have these talks also with the team, because I want to hear your story. I want to hear, like, how did you come here? What made you pick us? What made you pick the other places first? What
Yeah.
experiences did you have at the other places where it was like, oh, okay. Is that the only other shop you was at? You was never at Bulldog?
No, I was never at Bulldog.
Okay. So it's just True Skills?
Yeah, True Skill.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. You said you tried a couple other shops. I was like,
Well, I meant like my shop in Altus, but like it's not really a shop. Like I've tried that.
it's a
Like
studio? So it's
Yeah,
it's
studio.
just you?
Yeah.
Okay. So you know you didn't want to do a studio long term, or?
Well, I did, but I wasn't ready to transform to Altus yet because of the
All your
pricing.
clients was at Altus?
Yeah, it's because of the pricing. The pricing is like really low.
Okay.
Like and also another thing is, I couldn't remember. I don't remember who I heard it from, but it was on Instagram, and it's like when you first get into the industry,
Right.
go to a couple shops if you want to open your own barbershop. And that's what I wanted to do.
Okay.
Go to a couple shops, work there at least 5 years. That way you know where everything
what it
is
looks
ran.
like.
Yeah, you would know everything is ran. Every kind of situation that comes across, and see how the owner handles it.
Right.
Handles it.
Right.
So that's why I was trying to find a shop, and I did try to go work at Bulldog,
Okay.
and
So you did try another shop?
I did try another shop,
Okay.
and in Altus, and I showed him my work, and he was critiquing my work, and didn't tell me yay or nay. So
And you
I just-
hey,
he didn't tell me like if I could come work or nothing. He was critiquing my work.
he's just saying, oh, you should do this, you should do that.
Yeah, or I would have did this on the haircut, or it's like, okay, so can I get a job?
Yeah. And by the end of the conversation,
Yeah, it was like over, like just pretty much critiquing my work, and that was it.
okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy. All right. So now you finna get into content. What struck you? What makes you decide to be? Because you are pretty passionate about content right now. Like you are taking leaps and bounds that some people take years to get to. Like you are really, really on it. What makes you so strong on it? Like what do you see? We was just talking over there. Like
Yeah.
end goal. Like so, what is? Do you have one yet? Are you seeing like? Or are you just like, all right, I'm just on the journey right now to see what's going on? Or
Well, I'm on a journey right now, but
okay,
the longevity of like working, I can't do this all my life.
right,
So I've always wanted to shoot content, but I was always too scared to jump into it. You had told me just get started.
right.
Like that's the only way you're gonna know what you want to do is to get started.
Yeah, you gotta start.
So I got started. I shot my first couple of videos. I just shot my real big one that I was really passionate about, that I liked it. So
Right.
that just drove me right there. That drove me. And it did really well on social media.
Right.
Well for me is like,
It did well.
Yeah, it did well for me.
Enough to keep you inspired, to keep you
Yeah.
encouraged, right?
yeah, it did well for me. So that just made me push even harder.
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, man. Now I feel like an interview because now I'm trying to think of questions. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But things that I just want to, I want to reach out to new barbers.
okay. Okay.
Like, you know, on the things you need to look for on looking for a shop when you first get out of school. What
So what are those things right now that you would be in? If somebody was to ask you right now, like people at school, like, hey bro, what I'm finna leave, like where should I go? I don't want to come up. They feel like you, like man, I ain't trying to go up in there yet, bro. Hey, man, I don't think my cuts is ready to be up in there. What should I do?
Find a place that suits you, okay, and then be there for a while. And if it don't suit you, you don't owe that owner anything. Like you, I mean, okay, let me say this: find a place that suits you, and work there for a while. Get your reps in, and if you feel like you need to level up or go to another shop, explain to the owner, "Thank you for giving me a shot, but I feel like I'm gonna move on."
Right.
I feel like you don't owe nobody anything for giving your first opportunity.
No, you don't. But see,
Especially-
but this is where it get tricky at for some guys, feeling like they owe the owner for the opportunity. It's the guys that get to cut while they still in school, right? Because you're still in school, but this guy gave you a shot, so you're like, man, he risking something, putting me up in here. So now that once you out of school and then you there, now you're like, dang, I don't want to just jump ship on him because he stuck his neck out there for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I know that's where it gets tricky at, but I'm with you. I feel like, you know, once I'm here, because like you know that you feel yourself outgrowing the space. You know how that feels. Like it's like, all right, the things that I see in the industry and the way that I'm viewing things and trying to grow, nobody else in here seems to even be interested in. Nobody's like, oh yeah, you should do this, or yeah, like they're just happy with just where they're at. You know what I'm saying? And that's usually the number one sign. And so when I feel you, when I tell guys, hey bro, if you see that, and especially if the environment gets to the point to where now you feeling like they're trying to discourage you from doing those things, you are definitely in the wrong shop.
Yeah. Yeah, like marketing is a big deal. Like
Yeah, marketing is everything.
I want to be at a shop where they market, you know. I mean, of course you got to do your own marketing.
Right.
But like where they marketing and I don't remember.
Like marketing, you want to go to a shop that does marketing and does what, or runs like what, or seems more organized, or
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like I want to go to a shop that's, you know, good on marketing, organized, has a strong team, and doing the things that I'm doing, like
Right.
that I want to do.
Right.
And that's why this shop was for me.
Right. Yeah, that was gonna be my next question. Like, what made you feel like, all right, like you say when you first walked in, you was like, okay, yeah, this is it. I could do this. What changed your mind from the first time being like, okay, this shop suits me, and opposed to like, because you never even walked in here. You said you was intimidated, but you had never even been in here. So what do you think if you'd have came in here first, you'd have been like, oh yeah, this is where I want to be? It got over it, or if you came in and just seemed like it's regular, like it's just a regular, it is a nice shop, barbershop, but I mean, we're just still a barbershop. There's no like camera crew walking around. You know what I'm saying? Like, we definitely don't have that. Not you hear, you see that. You know what I'm saying? It was just guys coming to work, but it's just some guys have a camera. You know?
So as soon as I walked in here, the vibes in here, like it was just like normal. Like, you know, like you fit in, like it's the vibes. So that was the first thing. Then the second thing is like, I knew my skill set was, you know, okay.
Right.
And, but as I walked through here and I was waiting on Trey to talk to Trey, I seen other guys, you know, getting finished with their haircuts. And I'm like, I feel like I can be here.
Right.
So that just let me know right there and there. Yeah, I'm ready.
That's good.
And even though my skill set wasn't to where it is now.
Oh no, it always improves once you get around guys that's cutting. And then even as you've been around, like for us, having guys that are growing their skill set sometimes helps us, just because you're new. Like you're not necessarily young enough to where you're learning like the new things because you already knew how to cut hair. You just kind of improved once you got here. But somebody like a Kilo, like you may have picked up a technique at school that we don't know about, and then now it's like, oh, okay, damn, that does make your fade come out smoother. You know, I mean, not him in particular because he didn't, but just for say a newer guy that's newer in the industry, there's things that change. You know what I'm saying? Or like a Josh. So like me and Trey been doing this so long that the foundation of our shop is naturally black hair. So we didn't cut a lot of black hair. I mean, a lot of straight hair in the first decade, probably. You know what I'm saying? Like most of our clients were military guys, black guys. That was it. White guys that came got it real short, 2-3 on the top, ball fade. Like there was really no styling aspect to it, I should say. And then after the comb over stage got popular in barbering, that's when it was like, all right, we was trying to figure out, like, you know, when you first learn to comb over, you're trying to figure out, like, damn, what do I do with this flap right here? You know what I'm saying? And Kevin worked here at the time. And Kevin was really the first person to show us, like, oh, you use thinning shears right here to make this blend. It's like, oh, okay. And then when Josh got here, is when we started paying more attention to like, oh, okay, well now they're doing these fringe haircuts. Now you have to make this horseshoe and you need to cut it at this angle or this angle. So that's when we had Barber Phil and them come in. So even as you be in the industry, you're gonna grow. Styles are gonna change, things are gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, oh, okay, well, oh, I know how to do that. Or you know you have the skill set to do it, you just don't know what steps yet. And then once you learn the steps, like, oh, okay, yeah, I can do this haircut now. Like even now, there's some cuts that I know, like, all right, I can do this, but I don't really know, like, maybe this area. How am I connecting this to this? And I have to still kind of really take my time to figure that out. But like, now that I know how to do the horseshoe part and do this fade part and drop it down here, like at first when I first started doing it, I'm so used to that straight line ball fade that I'm having that cowlick is sticking straight up. I don't got enough weight. You know what I'm saying? So just stuff like that, you'll learn because the game is gonna keep evolving. That's like as long as you still behind the chair, there's still gonna be some shit that happens. It's gonna be like, oh man, there's still gonna be styles that come around and you're like, man, what is this?
Yeah, it's like working in a 20-man chair, or it's like working in a shop with this many people. Like you get to take everybody's technique and put it into your own technique, like mix it together.
For sure.
So that was really helpful.
Okay.
Like I can take X, Y, and Z and then put it into my own, accumulate it into my own.
Right.
And stuff that I didn't know. Like,
right.
So that was really helpful.
And so where do you want to see yourself in the next 5 years? Barbering. You wanted to be a shop owner. Do you want to leave now? You still like, all right, now I've been here a year, 4 more years from now, I'm going to do this. Or do you feel like, nah, I want to stay around here a little bit longer? Or have you started seeing shop ownership and being like, no, I don't know about all that. It's a lot of things I wasn't thinking of. Like, because I know Big, you know what I'm saying? Big has went from when he first was like, oh yeah, I definitely want to own a shop, to now he's like looking at some of the stuff we deal with and he's like, nah, I don't want to do that. So like, how do you still feel about that?
Okay, my initial goal was to open up a shop. And at first I was like a year or two.
Okay.
And then when I got here, I was like, well, maybe 5 years.
Right.
But now I'm like, maybe I could just stay here for a little bit longer and see what else is out there, you know?
Right.
So that's why I jumped into content creating.
Okay.
And I'm going to go from there.
Yeah. I mean, you still can do a shop. You know, just because then you got to think like, I don't think Altus is like uncorruptible, meaning like you can't put a shop there and win. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a military base. As long as they're a military base anywhere, it's part of their job. Like, if this was to shut down for any reason, we would go to another military base for sure. Like, there's no way around it. Like, we would probably go like to Killeen, because there's no way around. If that's part of their job, that's like job security. You know what I'm saying?
As far as like longevity, yes, I do want to open up a shop. I just don't know that amount of years that I want to prepare
You want
for
to
it.
wait for it.
Yeah, I'm gonna know when the right opportunity arises to open up a shop. I just
Right.
don't know when,
Right.
because I know I can't cut hair all my life.
That's a fact.
I would love to, but I just know it's reality. You
Right.
know.
Yeah. That's what made me do it. That's what made me do it. I was like, damn, bro. And that was a big thing for me and Trey, like trying to figure out, because I didn't want to leave, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like at that point, me and Trey had been together 14 years. We don't have a problem. And then the equation that we had, like usually in that equation, the guy that's ready to open the shop, he leaves and goes open the shop. And I'm like, bro, I don't really want to do that. Like, I don't want to split up and go open the shop because I just spent 14 years building ice trays with you, like from the beginning. And so we had to work out the numbers, and it was a little back and forth. But I think what it was is once I had the idea of like, all right, let's knock down this wall and like fill it up with chairs, and then it'll be worth it. Because before, Trey was making some money, but it wasn't enough to split. You know what I'm saying? Like there was only 6 of us, so if there's 6 of us, there's really only 4 other barbers. So now I got 2 chairs, you got 2 chairs, we splitting. That after bills is basically nothing. So now we're sitting there. We would be in that instance, we would be the owners that are like, oh, we're the owners, but you don't really have anything other than the title. You're not winning. You know what I'm saying? So I think once we got the idea to knock this wall down and really just be like, all right, let's measure out how much space it is for each station and then figure out how many stations we can do. You know, and still now, like at one point we had got up to 17, but we didn't really have the organization for that many barbers. And it was crazy, bro. That's when like Reese was over here tearing people's heads up, hairlines back. We had a guy from like North Carolina or something. He was tearing people's heads up. Like that's when Derek first got here. It was a lot. It was a lot. There was a military guy here. The Trey was letting him work part time. Well, we was letting him work part time, but he was like, he was young and wild. Like, was you here with him?
Mm-mm.
Man, that was crazy too.
Okay, so let me ask you this: like, as a barber coming out of school, how like I was intimidated to come here.
Right.
What would you tell them to not be intimidated? Because
Intimidation usually comes from you think, even whether people want to admit this or not, you think somebody's better than you at something most times. You know what I'm saying? And so, yes, they are better than you because you just got out of school. Like, but the person that you're going to talk to also knows that you just got out of school. So not really, if you come in here and you like, hey, I just got out of school and I'm looking for a job, we're not finna automatically be like, oh no, you gonna be trash. Like we'll give you a shot. But we also aren't expecting you to put out something close to what we're putting out. You know what I'm saying? So like Kiddo, for instance. Like we've looked at your work, like, all right, it ain't so bad that you're gonna need help. That's usually our determining factor. When we look at your haircuts, like, all right, is this guy gonna need help every single haircut to do it right? If so, we're not gonna be able to hire you because nobody in here has the time to be a full-time barber coach to help you learn. Like that's what school was for. You know what I'm saying? So the trick to not being intimidated really is having a skill set high enough, like you said, where you look at what's coming out that shop and you like, oh yeah, I could cut close enough to this where I think I should be able to do it. But if you also know, like, damn, my cuts really ain't that, then you should probably find another shop because we're not going to put you on. Like, Kobe been here since he was 14, bro, sweeping hair. When Kobe first tried to come as a barber, we told him no. Like, you were a kid sweeping hair in here selling candy. We've known you since you was a child. Once you became an adult and came in here looking for your job as a barber, that trial cut he did was not it. And we had to tell Kobe, like, this ain't it, bro. This ain't gonna work. It sucked, but and at that time it was big because you guys understand we put our relationship on the line with him. You know what I'm saying? It's a little different than somebody we don't know. It's different than when Ace came in here. Like we don't really know you like that. We kind of know you from around town, but we don't have a relationship with you. So If you do that on a haircut, and it's like, all right, bro, that's not good enough for us right here. At this time, your skill set wouldn't help us, and this is why. Because somebody would have to help you through your process pretty much every cut. We don't have time for that. Everybody in here has a certain skill set and is on a schedule at certain points in time where they don't have a lot of time in between clients or during a client's conversation. During a client service to interrupt just to help you. So, yeah, that's how we determine it. And if you look at it and you like, nah, I can't cut like that, then yeah, don't go there. That way you don't feel bad. Pick somewhere else where you can get your skill set up, you can get your reps up, and then, like you say, then you'll also have an experience at another shop, and you'll know things that you like and you don't like, and you'll know what you're looking for. It's kind of like dating. You know what I'm saying? Like you mess with a chick, you're like, oh man, she's so fine, but her attitude is trash. So you may go to a shop and the shop looks great, but the way it runs is horrible. Or you go to another shop and it's kind of vintage, like old, but it runs really well because it's so old. So you'll stay there for a while, but then you're like, dang, there's a different shop that runs well and it looks good and they doing content and the barbers is looking like they winning. And so, I think that's how we end up keeping people coming because the shop looks current. We live pretty good lives. I'm into content, so people get to see not so much my success, but get to see that, oh man, the things that I'm looking for in the industry are actually possible from right here where I'm at. I don't really have to be in Atlanta. I don't have to be in LA. I could really make something happen from right here. And when you're from a small place, that's super important, that representation, that knowing that you can have those type of advancements in the industry. Because until I started working with Scissor Hands in Oklahoma City, I never knew about that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? I just knew that people cut hair. I wasn't really thinking like, dang, somebody got to cut the OU players who eventually turn into NFL players. And I never even thought about that.
Yeah, that was one of the big things for me coming here because I seen you on social media. I'm like, I didn't know at the time that's what I wanted to do, but It was interesting to me.
Right.
So I'm like, well, he's doing all this, so that's where I want to be.
Right.
So
yeah, that's what Kilo said. Kilo said that was his final decision in coming over. He's like, man, when you went to China, I was like, oh yeah, bro, I gotta go over there. I gotta go over there, bro. They doing something over there, And I guess that's the plus side of me sharing my journey. But that's what I be telling you. That's what I was telling you about, just sharing your journey, because I wasn't posting that I was in China to be like, hey man, if you work with me over here, you can have these opportunities. You know what I'm saying? It was like I got the opportunity to go, so I'm already doing content, so I'm gonna definitely do content over going. And the byproduct is people are more inspired. People are like, oh dang, bro, this is crazy. This man is really making this happen. Because to me it was still like, man, this is crazy. I'm about to go to China. Like from Clippers and a camera is how all this is going on. And it's just I don't know.
So how important is it to make content as a barber?
Honestly, I don't think it's that important. And I think that's going back to the post I just did about Jordan. Like, it really depends on your goals. Like, Jordan doesn't, at this point, desire to do any content. He booked pretty much. Like, he busy all day. He don't even talk. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's not necessary, depending on what you want to do. If you just want to be a barber and make good money and live good and make $100,000 a year and live fine, then content ain't necessarily what you want to do. Or you could try to leverage content for clients, or you can try to build a content platform like what we're doing, like giving education or just giving game or letting you follow me on your journey. And maybe I monetize my pages. Maybe I sell merch. Maybe I go on this path that turns me from just Clippers and camera to some sort of media, I don't know, personality or entity or company, or like I don't know. You just never know. So I would say it depends on your goals. Like, what's your goal with barbering? And these days, people's goals are different because the landscape already looks different. So like, An 18-year-old coming in the barber now understands there's social media, there's influencer, there's brand deals, there's showcasing, there's winning battles, there's all of these things. At that time, like I didn't really, when we was first getting started, these things weren't just like readily known. You good? You need to call? You need to go home? Nigga, what you doing?
No, I'm doing like I was just doing a photo behind the scenes,
Um,
like behind the scenes.
uh,
You could have kept going.
oh yeah, that's what I need to do too. Do that really quick.
Hello. Hey, I'm shooting content right now. What's up?
There's no school for the kids or daycare for the kids tomorrow.
Okay.
Alright,
All right. I'll call you right back.
alright.
Nah. So what you need to go home?
Yeah. I mean, shit. We've been.
He said, "What you need to go
Yeah,
home?"
shit. That's part. That's part of the challenge of doing content on top of being a barber. It takes time. You know what I'm saying? And so, does your partner understand how much time that takes? Like, we've been up here since about 12:30, 1 o'clock. It's 4:30. You know what I'm saying? It don't really seem like we've been here 3 hours. Like
On our day off.
on our day off, right? You know what I'm saying? So now, your wife is like, you've been gone all day on your day off at your workplace. Like, what's up? When the time are you coming home? Like, my wife will probably call here shortly. Like, hey, you almost done? About to cook dinner? Like, stuff like that. Be like, all right.
A friendly, like, hurry up.
Yeah, that's like, yes, get on home, bro. This might be something you're interested in. My wife just sent me a Facebook post saying Anti-Bro Barbers Club is looking for brand ambassadors.
Oh, that'd be dope.
You know what I'm saying? So if I was you, I would go to their page and fill it out. I mean, I know Dre. Oh, Ray. His name is Ray. I call him Dre. So I'm familiar with Ray. So, I mean, that's something I can say, hey, man. I mean, you're looking for bastards out this way. So, because I love Angel Ross. It's my dog.
Barber life.
Barber life. So that's why I've never, even though I rock with Ray real tough, and Angel rock with Ray. Like, I like Ray. I just never pursued being a brand ambassador for them because I rock with Angel so tough. And I know BV, the other guy that most people don't know that owns the other half of Barber Life. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's different when you have real relationships with people. Like, I've been to your home. I know your kids. Like, I met your wife. Like, I've sat in your home and ate your food. Like, for me, it would feel weird to be like, all right, bro, I can't really rock your stuff no more because I got a deal with Anti-Bro. I think they would understand, kind of, because they're part of the industry, but it would also be like, damn, bro, like, we got a clothing line. You know what I'm saying? So it would be, that's why I wouldn't take advantage of the opportunity. But for you, that's something you could do. And then due to relationships, I could be like, hey, it's a dude named David. It's a Monkey Cuts. Hey, bro, fuck with him if you can, bro. Or da-da-da-da-da. Like, I don't really know how. But I could call him after you put in the thing and see.
Hey,
We get some.
another thing, Blake. It's off subject, but monkey cuts.
Right.
Like, sometimes, like, it's normal for me because that's been my nickname since I was a baby.
Okay.
But, like, you just don't see a name like that in the barber industry.
But you also want things that make you stand out. So Monkey Cuts isn't something that you made up. Somebody was walking past. So the big difference for me with stuff like that is Monkey isn't something that you made up. Like, Monkey Cuts isn't something that you sat around and was like, oh, because monkeys do this and this is going to be a brand and I'm going to make it, like, I guess that wouldn't be too bad, but it would feel like that. It's really organic because people that come in here that know you be like, oh yeah, I got an appointment with Monkey. Like, only people that don't know you be like, Monkey Cuts? Oh, okay, him right there. Okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? So it's organic, and then second of all, it's very unique. And sometimes, not sometimes, most times, leaning into the things that make you unique are what makes you stand out. So like when we went to the show in Dallas, and Big had on this red sequin vest with this hat, like looking like a preacher, like he fresh out of church, but got this swag going on. I don't really know how to explain. He just looked very different than every barber because barbers isn't there wearing what we wearing. Barber shirts, Jordans, pants, hat, you know what I'm saying? But he has on these red loafers, black slacks, red vest with sequins on it, this red big ass brim hat. So now people just like, hey bro, what's up with your boy? Who is your boy? Who is this? What's like you just standing out. You know what I'm saying? And he got to lean on that. So like let's say he had to call plug for something. I could call plug and be like, hey, me and my partner in the big red hat and stuff. He'd be like, yeah, hey bro, his name is this. Can you make sure he's put in an order for this, but he got da 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 da. Like those things help because you'll stand out. And let's say he does it again at the next show and he wears a blue one. People will start being like, oh, okay, big fella, this is what he do. You know what I'm saying? So just like with your name, people will be like, Monkey Cuts. And typically, you'll end up explaining. They were like, damn, Monkey Cuts? Where does that come from? Oh, that was my nickname as a kid. Oh, okay, cool. That like you say, like I said, that makes it feel more organic than, where did that come from? And now you have this whole brand story that you're telling, you know what I'm saying? Like, definitely don't clip this part out. But like, Azor. Like, okay, well, where you get spicy cuts and styles? Was out because my shit's spicy. Like, whoa, 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 whoa. Like, now you selling me your brand story. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, and because it doesn't have this, the brand story doesn't seem to have, not gravity or weight. Like, it's fine to have a brand and have a brand story, but if the story doesn't seem authentic or it doesn't seem significant somehow, like have a meaning, if it's just this whole like, oh, it's because I'm super cool, then that's a lot harder to sell than like, okay, the way I branded my educational platform, small market, big success, is because I'm from a small market. And as far as the industry goes, I'm having big success. I get to work on stages. I'm working with brands. Which I know your favorite influencers and all these things. I've been flown to China. I'm finna go record content. Like for people in our industry, we would look at something that I'm doing like, man, this dude is having big success. So that's how that came about. From a small market, I have big success. I'm looking to help educate other barbers and help other barbers do the same thing. So see, that was really easy and that's simple to explain. And it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's my nickname. Okay.
Right. So, but if it was something that was like all about just the flash of the name, then it would be like, what is that about? It doesn't feel the same. And so I said all that to say that your name being your nickname, I don't think it's nothing that you should lean away from. I actually think you should lean into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would have a monkey as a logo. You know, I don't know if it would be just like a monkey's face or a silhouette of a monkey or whatever. I don't know what it would be. But
I like my logo is a face.
right. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. So like, yeah, lean into that. Why not?
It's just like, you know, like when it's like when Caucasians come in, you know, right. into a shop that's mostly black, you know, like they don't want to say it. They're like, monkey. Oh, monkey's over there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see that. Okay.
Yeah.
When white clients come into a black shop and they ask for monkey cuts, it's like,
they feel uncomfortable asking, you know, in a black shop.
I could dig that. I could see that. I mean, but yeah. So now, I mean, at the end of the day, it comes down to, are you willing to change your brand? Man, this is gonna sound wild, but are you willing to change your brand name to satisfy white people? You know what I'm saying? Like, isn't that important?
No.
I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? Like, and no, not to white people, but it's so organic. Like, why would I'm not gonna change my brand and it's my nickname, first of all, but I'm not gonna change the brand because you're a little uncomfortable saying the name coming into a certain space. Because I may not even be in this space all my life. You know what I'm saying? You may, in 5 years, you may be like, okay, yeah, I am ready to go open up a shop. And it may be Monkey Cuts Barbershop. Now it ain't no big deal because where you go get your haircut? Over at Monkey Cuts. Monkey Cuts? Yeah, the owner's nickname is Monkey, so. It's like, oh, okay. No big deal at that point. You know what I'm saying? So if you was to change it, then now you have to think of a brand name and think of a story and think of why you did that and what is it going to be to like. Even the shop name is organic. It's Ice Trays. It's because Trey had a friend named Darren Isom. Isom and Trey used to hang out every day when they was in the military. They was both going to be barbers. They got out of the military. Darren Isom went back to wherever Muncie in the end, I think Indiana, and he didn't want to be a barber. Trey still had this name. He was like, man, I thought it was a dope name. I'm like, yeah, that is a cool name. I've never heard. I mean, I like it. Ice Trays, it's got a ring to it. He's like, yeah, man, I want to have a sports team. And I'm like, cool with me. Because I didn't have no vision of what kind of shop. I wanted to be a barber, but I didn't have a vision of like a theme. And my idea of a barbershop was like chairs, barbers, get in there and cut hair. So Trey had this whole vision and idea. I'm like, shoot, let's rock with that. You know, and here we are, year 20, and it's like Ice Trays just sounds so normal at this point. Even people was walking and be like, yeah, Ice Trays? How did you get the name? And then Trey gets to tell the story. Okay, well, I was in the military. Oh, you're a veteran? Yeah, I'm a veteran. Blah, 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 blah. You know? And at one point when I used to wear a lot of jewelry, I'd be like, yeah, I put the ice in Ice Trays. You know what I'm saying? And some people thought that's how the name came about. Like, okay, DJ, you the ice? And I'm like, yeah, but that's not really how the story, you know, that's not what it was, you know? And I think because it came organically and it wasn't necessarily a barber related name, it hit a little different. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, I guess none of the other shops around here are barber related. True Skills just that. Nobody's really just a barber related name, but yeah, that's how the name came. So being organic, I always think is the best bet because it's just the easiest to do, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like when we was doing the content earlier, you trying to read a script that doesn't really feel like you was like, now you forcing it. That's coming across on the camera. You feeling uncomfortable. You looking uncomfortable. But then when you had it in and we was over there talking, you was like, I'm gonna shoot all this over real quick. You shot it over in 5 minutes because you knew what you wanted to say. You basically knew the principle of what you wanted to get across. And now you wasn't restricted by trying to make it a presentation. You was just like, all right, what I really want to say is these 3 things. So I'm going to just introduce myself, tell why I'm finna say these 3 things, then I'm going to say the 3 things. Boom. Then it was so much easier to just go ahead and knock it out as opposed to memorizing the script and making sure I'm sitting up and am I enunciating my words? Do I sound professional when I'm talking? Like all these things, like if you're trying to get into that, it comes with time. For me, it's easier to do that on content because I used to do public speaking at a drop of a dime. I've never had a problem getting in front of however many people. And as long as I know what I'm talking about, I'm fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care. I'm a class clown naturally. Like, I would love to get in front of the class and be like, hey, y'all, today I woke up this morning and I rolled up some newspapers and I threw them all the way before I came to school because that's my job. I don't work after school at no fast food joint. That's how come I get to do this and that. Like, I remember having to talk. I took theater. I took speech. I remember having to have, like, I love debate. So you can't be, like, shy and do the things that I love to do. So for me, public speaking isn't really a big deal. Like, even last year when I did Albuquerque, and that was probably the biggest room I've done. It was probably like 200 people in there. And it was still like, all right.
Natural for you.
Yeah. Like, the only critique I got from Poppy Blends was I was using the client sitting in the chair like this as a podium. Like, I didn't come out and just walk across the stage and engage throughout the stage. You know what I'm saying? I stood there and told my story and talked from behind the client. And that was just because when I talk at most things, I have been standing behind a podium. I hadn't really done anything where I need to walk across the stage, or I've never really had the opportunity to just have the whole stage. So I usually just say what I'm gonna say at whatever podium or ask, like hosting panels or stuff like that. So, but other than that, bro, I'm ready. Like, I feel like I can talk in front of whoever, as long as I understand As long as I understand what I'm talking about, I'm fine with it. Oh, big trying to stay on track.
What is that?
She said because we finna eat some salmon.
Oh yeah, to the group.
So yeah, man. I don't know how long this thing been running.
Cut my.
That'll work.
Yep.